Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha, Wisconsin wasn't the only person who fired a gun that night. In fact, charges were recently filed against a second person, but the timeline on those shots fired could actually help Kyle Rittenhouse. What do I mean? Stick by and watch this next episode of Guns and Gadgets. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. Let us talk about the case that everybody has their eyes on. Actually, one of two cases, if you include the McCloskeys in St. Louis. But this case could happen to any one of us at any given time now in America. So we all know about the shooting that happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, where Kyle Rittenhouse defended himself with an AR-15 and is alive today because he defended himself. Well, up until a couple days ago, he was the only one facing charges related to that incident. Well, we now have a second person who has been charged. So what I'll do is I'll give you a quick rundown and then I'll read you the police report for these charges and we'll talk about how this could play in to help Kyle Rittenhouse. So on the fabled date in question, right before Kyle Rittenhouse turned toward his first attacker and shot him in the head, there was a gunshot that went off that many are now saying could be the reason why Kyle turned to see what was going on. And Joshua Ziminski has just been charged with shooting that round, and we'll go over that, like I said, in a little bit of detail here with the police report. The way this went down was Ziminski shot a round into the air. He says it was a warning shot, and interesting that that gun that he had was stolen from his residence a couple days ago once the police started investigating him. It's funny how that works out. But he fired his shot in the air. That caused Kyle Rittenhouse to turn around, saw the first person that was shot by Rittenhouse lunging at him. Kyle shot 4 times, stopped to render aid, or attempted to render aid to that victim. The mob started chasing him. He was knocked to the, he tripped, was swung at, almost hit in the head with a skateboard, which is like Antifa's weapon of choice. And the rest is history, okay? So as this investigation has been unfolding with multiple videos from people who were streaming and businesses that were in the area that have surveillance, stuff like that, we're starting to see more and more of the truth. Now, many of us know right then and there, just watching it, that this was self-defense all day, every day. And again, there's always not everybody sees things through the same set of eyeglasses, right? When I observe a situation, it's based off my training and experience and how I would investigate things, and all day long, that is a good shoot. That's what the terminology is. It's a good shoot. He was, obviously, they weren't looking to cuddle him and hold him. They were looking to cause serious bodily harm, if not kill him. Him being Kyle Rittenhouse. But now to learn that this whole incident could have been kicked off by somebody else acting a fool changes the entire investigation. Okay, so I'm now going to read you the police report here in the charges filed against Joshua Ziminski, the person who discharged that first shot that could very easily be used to say started the rest of the events from unfolding here. And it goes like this. On August 25th, 2020, Kenosha Police Detective Howard and Detective Antarmian, sorry if I'm butchering that, were assigned to investigate 2 homicides that occurred in the 6100 and 6200 blocks of Sheridan Road. In the course of investigating the homicides, detectives reviewed numerous videos of the incidents on the night in question. Detective Howard reports reviewing one video from the night of August 25th, 2020. This video depicted the area of the Ultimate gas station, which is located at the southeast corner of Sheridan Road and 60th Street in the city and county of Kenosha, state of Wisconsin. In the course of reviewing said video, Detective Howard was able to positively identify 2 subjects. Detective Howard first observed Joshua Ziminski, the defendant, whose identity was confirmed via booking photo, meaning he's been arrested before and he's in the database. The defendant had on a gray scarf around his neck and wore a black hooded sweatshirt, a black hat, and had a medium-length beard with a mustache. The defendant wore a black drawstring backpack, gray-black camouflage pants, and black shoes. The defendant stood approximately 6 foot 5 inches tall and was approximately 200 pounds. Near the defendant was his wife, identified as Kelly Ziminski, who had a unique shade of red hair color pulled into a ponytail. She wore a black sweatshirt and had a black backpack with a black gator-style face mask. You know, the typical Antifa little gator. Detective Howard further reports the defendant was holding a black handgun, which he was holding in his left hand, pointed downward. Detective Howard reports that in reviewing multiple other videos, he was able to see the defendant and Kelly Zeminski in and around multiple other people on the streets, and the defendant was seen holding the handgun down at his side in said videos. In another video, the defendant and Kelly were seen walking near a fire in the area of the Ultimate gas station lot. In a later video, the defendant's right arm is seen on video, which is taken near the 63rd Street and Sheridan Road in the city of Kenosha, state of Wisconsin. Detective Howard reports the defendant's arm pointing the gun upward toward the sky. Detective Howard observed a muzzle flash emit from the handgun and heard a gunshot at the same time. In other video, the defendant is clearly seen at the same location. The defendant is seen walking in the same area, holding his right arm upward and firing off one shot from his handgun. The defendant and his wife were seen leaving the area. Several other people are in the nearby vicinity when the defendant fires the handgun. So what they're telling you is they have multiple angles with this guy in it, holding his gun and shooting the gun. Detective Howard was later able to arrange a meeting with the defendant and Kelly Zeminski on October 7th, 2020. In speaking to them, both admitted that the defendant had fired off a warning shot into the air during the night of August 25th, 2020. They further stated that the firearm in question had subsequently been stolen from the defendant's residence several days prior. So as of right now, Joshua Zeminski is charged with disorderly conduct, use of a dangerous weapon, and my investigative skills tell me that he's going to be charged with destruction of evidence as well, because it mysteriously disappeared as the trail was leading to him. Now that is some serious news, because the New York Times, which has been running a timeline of this event, even in their timeline, they say that while Mr. Rittenhouse is being pursued by the group, an unknown gunman fires into the air, though it's unclear why. The weapon's muzzle flash appears in footage filmed at the scene. Mr. Rittenhouse turns toward the sound of the gunfire as another pursuer lunges toward him in the same direction. Mr. Rittenhouse then fires 4 times and appears to shoot the man in the head. Now, the legal question that will absolutely come up at trial is this: is it reasonable that Kyle Rittenhouse heard a gunshot, turned, saw somebody lunging toward him, and thought that that person might be attacking him or might have fired a gun at him? Is it reasonable? And yes, it absolutely is. If you're being chased and you hear a gunshot behind you and you turn and you see somebody reaching for you or lunging at you, is it reasonable for you to believe that that person who's attacking you, or you're perceived to be attacking you, is the one firing or trying to hurt, maim, or kill you? And it is reasonable. And in a previous statement from Kyle Rittenhouse's legal team, they said this: Kyle stopped to ensure care for the wounded attacker, but faced a growing mob gesturing towards him. He realized he needed to flee for his safety and his survival. Another attacker struck Kyle from behind as he fled down the street. Kyle turned as the mob pressed in on him and fell to the ground. One attacker kicked Kyle on the ground while he was on the ground. Yet another bashed him over the head with a skateboard. Several rioters tried to disarm Kyle. In fear for his life and concerned the crowd would either continue to shoot at him or even use his own weapon against him, Kyle had no choice but to fire multiple rounds toward his immediate attackers, striking 2, including one armed attacker. The rest of the mob began to disperse upon hearing the additional gunshots. And that, my friends, is the definition of self-defense. I am not an attorney. I will tell you that. I'm not an attorney. However, in 20 plus years of police work, I'm telling you that if the people involved in this investigation do what they're supposed to do, the way they're supposed to do it, and just follow the evidence and take all the politics out of it, Kyle Rittenhouse will be a free man, because what he did was act upon his perception of being attacked, his perception of the gunshots behind him, and his perception that the mob was trying to hurt and possibly kill him. In my opinion, this is an open and closed case. So I thought I would get that out there, because this type of information usually doesn't come out until trial. So this is actually good information. to help Kyle Rittenhouse and his team be successful in defending Mr. Rittenhouse. And it's a sad thing that he still sits in jail fighting his extradition. It is good that Illinois has dropped the charges because they had nothing to stand on, but Wisconsin is still pressing forward. I will again tell everybody that this could happen to you at the blink of an eye. You could be downtown wherever, Boston, Philadelphia, Miami, Orlando, Los Angeles, and happen to have some type of riot going on, some type of peaceful protest and demonstration where you could be put in a position where you have to defend your life or somebody you love, which is why I recommend strongly everybody join the USCCA. You can join at uscca.com/GNG, and that will help you help yourself because you will have lawyers at the ready to defend you in any type of legal armed defense. Any type of legal armed defense. Doesn't have to be a firearm, guys and gals. I strongly suggest that everybody have some type of fallback plan in the case that they need it, instead of scrambling when they're already behind the 8 ball. So join USCCA today. Let me know what you think about this new news coming out where a peaceful protester shot a gun and might have actually led to what happened with Kyle. All right, guys, I hope you have a fantastic Sunday. If you enjoy news on the Second Amendment, please consider subscribing to Guns and Gadgets because this is where you will find it. And I also ask that you hit the thumbs up to help kill that algorithm. Make a couple comments down below and share it with your friends. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a weapon. Take care, everybody.